In today's episode, Dennis asks, how will AI help marketers with retargeting and sales conversion? This is a really interesting question because one of the things that marketers struggle with is what causes a conversion, or what factors, what measures, what metrics, what learners, what dimensions lead to conversion or contribute to conversion. A big part of this is a foundation of attribution analysis. What things, what pieces of data lead to have driven conversions in the past, and then obviously with things like retargeting, you're trying to focus on, well, what things are likely, predicting what things are likely to cause conversions in the future. And the way AI and machine learning help with this is dealing with what are called weak learners. A weak learner is any dimension or metric whose predictive power is just barely above chance, just slightly more than random chance. It's called a weak learner because it's a weak signal. It's not a signal that by itself is a very strong signal. So, for example, number of times someone has retweeted your tweets, right? That's, for a fair number of businesses, that's going to be a really weak learner. In fact, it may or may not even be statistically relevant, but at the very least, it's probably a weak learner. There are things like how many times someone has opened an email, the number of social channels someone follows you on, the pages they visited on a website, the amount of time they spend on a page. When you think about all the data that we have access to as marketers, and then we consider that most of these metrics are pretty weak, you get to start getting a sense of the scope of the problem. Like, we have all this data, and none of it is the one answer that we're looking for. The answer says, this is the thing. This is the thing we need to do more of. It would be nice if it worked that way. It would be nice to know, say, you should always send email on Tuesdays. That's going to cause all your conversions. Doesn't happen. So, how does AI help with this? Through techniques that aggregate weak learners together and make them function as a stronger learner, we can get a sense of what combinations of dimensions and metrics matter most. Let me give you an example. Let's say that each one of these playing cards, what the thickness of it indicated the strength of that learning, right? So you have tweets and emails and time on page and bounce rate and stuff, and you see all these cards over and over again. Now, by themselves, each one of these cards is a signal, and these signals are real thin, right? Now, if we just start doing what's called bagging, we start putting similar cards together, we end up with a stronger signal. Do this enough, and you end up with a very strong signal. And there are techniques like bagging and boosting that allow you to do this, that are machine learning technologies that use statistics and use math to figure out how you go from pile of random cards to block that indicates this combination of things is the thing that works. And that's really where AI will be used to help marketers with the retargeting and the sales conversion, by identifying through techniques like gradient boosting, through techniques like random forests and stuff, this combination of variables, whether it's time or attributes of the person or number of times they've done something or a percentage of things that they've done something, this combination is the combination that will lead to the outcome. Now, if you want to kick it up a notch, there is then a machine learning technique called multi-objective optimization that says, hey, what do you care about? If you've done an attribution analysis, or you've done the process of attribution analysis, you know that many times there isn't that one answer. There could be a bunch of things that perform well, or in your company, different teams may have different KPIs, but they're all important. So the events team has registrations as a KPI. The direct response team has opens, right? The sales team has deals closed. One of the challenges that folks working with machine learning and marketing data is not optimizing just for one metric, but optimizing for multiple metrics. And that's where something like multi-objective optimization will come into place, to take all these signals that you've aggregated through bagging and boosting and treat and forests and stuff, and then use those, blend them together, and figure out, okay, now how do we allocate both credit and resources across these different objectives to help everyone meet their objectives without causing significant harm to another objective. And that may mean that, by the way, that you may not get everything you want for your objective. You may have to compromise with other departments, other teams, with other pools of resources, but the net effect, the net computation will be that you'll have the greatest overall benefit to your company. And that's another part of machine learning that's super important, that is very difficult to do because the math behind it is crazy. It's like huge. But if you've got it working, then you can understand better what you need to do, what combination of things you need to do in order to get the outcome, the overall outcome you want. This is all predicated on having a strategy with clearly defined goals, because you can't do multi-objective optimization if you have no objectives or you have no clearly defined objectives. So that's an important part. It's a prerequisite. But that's how AI is going to help marketers with retargeting and sales conversion the most, is by taking all of these data points that marketers simply are not, and it's not just marketers, by the way, it's people. We are not able to do computations of 100 or 200, 1,000, a million different variables at the same time. We physically cannot do that up here. Our hardware just can't do that. So we need our machines to do that for us. But that's how marketers will get benefit out of these technologies, and relevant benefit to their performance. So this is all part of the Fuse Digital Conference, which I'll be speaking at in November in Philadelphia. So make sure that if you're interested in exhibiting or you're interested in attending, that you reach out to the folks there. But good question. It's a fun question, and the technology behind it, if you get it working, is a serious competitive advantage. It is a competitive advantage like no other, because you will know what works. For the most part, you will know what works. It's obviously still based on the quality of your data. So if your data is terrible, it's not going to help you. But assuming good quality data, it is an advantage that few others can put together to compete against you. So, as always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Want help solving your company's data analytics and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.